over there. I see you struggling with the numbers, but don't have no fear, cause I'm right here. We're gonna grow and learn together, there's no need to despair. Math cool like breeze, you're gonna learn it with ease. So leave your concerns because it's time to learn.
Hey guys, and welcome to my channel. My name is Tamra, aka Mrs. Thinker, and today we're going to be looking at order of operations. Now picture this. The year is 2021, and with the COVID-19 vaccine out and about, there is a certain rule on how the people of Jamaica will be getting their vaccine. Clearly, everybody can't just go down to the clinic. We can't all just line up by the ministry and stretch our hand feet, right? Because there's an order set out based on who needs to get it first. Because if everybody go on time, what that? Pure confusion. So we start with the emergency workers, the police, the soldiers, nurses, doctors, and other healthcare workers. They would be first in line because their role is to protect and save lives. So they have to be armed with the vaccine first. Then comes senior citizens. They are considered to be high risk. So they would have to get the vaccine next. And then finally, other people like teachers, students, and the rest of the country can line up for their vaccination. So you see, there is some type of order. Right now, anybody can just join the line because depending on where you fall on the priority list, you may or may not get the vaccine. Now you might wonder what this stuff to do with math. Well, let's get into it. Operations in math take two numbers or expressions and provide a final result or answer. But sometimes an expression can have more than one operation. Say for example, 9 minus 5 plus 1. Now, one person might say, I think we can add first, and they would add the 5 plus 1 to give 6, and then subtract 9 minus 6 to give 3. But then somebody else might say, more subtract first. So then 9 minus 5 gives 4, and then when we add 1, we get 5. Now imagine if the teacher gives you this question. You would have some people in the class getting 3 and some people in the class getting 5. That's pure confusion. Just like the vaccination line. That is why there needs to be a rule set in place to tell us which operation gets to be calculated first. And that rule is known as the order of operations. Now, similar to the vaccination line, operations in math are on different levels. So when it comes to ordering them, here's what we have. On the highest level, we have exponents. Now, I haven't done a detailed video on exponents before, so let's take a look at it briefly. Exponents is known as the shortcut to multiplication. So if we're multiplying the same group over and over again, we use exponents. In terms of operations, exponents comes out at the very top, kind of like our emergency care workers. So whenever they're in the expression, they have to be first in line when it comes to ordering our operations. On the next level now, we have multiplication and division. I've done previous videos on both of these operations before. So we know that multiplication is a shortcut for addition and division is a shortcut for subtraction. Both these operations are on the same level and they're kind of like our senior citizens. So they would come second on our priority list. Then finally, we have our base operations. These are addition and subtraction. They're treated like the other people of Jamaica that gets to go in line after the other levels get to go in. So that's really the basis of the order of operations. So you can see that there is some rule in place on how we calculate numbers. We place exponents on the highest level, so they go first, multiplication and division next, and then finally addition and subtraction. But there are two more things to consider. The first thing is, what if we have two operations from the same level in the equation? So we can go back to our first example, 9 minus 5 plus 1. In this expression, we have a subtraction and an addition sign, both of which are on the same level. Well, we can think back to our vaccination line. If there are two persons in the line from the same level, so if we have two healthcare workers or two senior citizens, it has to be the one who comes first that will get through first. So in this case, it's a first come, first serve basis. Similarly, if two operations from the same level are in an expression, whichever comes first, starting from the left, would get calculated first. So in the example, we would subtract first to get 4 and then add the 1 to get 5. Knowing this rule ensures that everybody at the end of the day will end up with the same exact answer. So just remember that if the operations are on the same level, it's done on a first come, first serve basis. Now the second thing is knowing what to do when you see parentheses, otherwise known as brackets. Now to me, because we're sticking with the vaccination line example, right? I feel like a bracket would be like if Prime Minister Andrew Holness, bro God, most honorable himself, write a letter and say, this person must get his or her vaccination first. Now, if anybody have this letter, it can be a regular person, it could be a senior citizen, they would have to go right up to the front of the line in front of everybody else because the most honorable bro God says so. That's exactly how brackets work. It doesn't matter if it's a lower level operation like addition. Once it's in brackets, it has to get calculated first before everything else. Now, there are a lot of different abbreviations that you can use to remember exactly what the order of operations look like. I like the one called PEMDAS because it lists the order of operations, but I'm going to include a level separator because, as I said, on each level, it's done on a first come, first serve basis. So we have the P for parentheses or brackets, the E for exponents. Next up, we have multiplication and division. But as I said, it depends on who comes first, right? First come, first serve. And then finally, we have addition, then subtraction. Again, based on which one appears first in the expression. So let's wrap this all up now with an example. Here we have 4 squared plus, in brackets, 2 plus 5 times 1 minus 2. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I'm a visual learner, so I am seeing the different levels in the line. Yeah? So let's work this out now, right? So 2 plus 5 come with them letter from bro God, right? So you know, so them have to go first in the line. It no matter who else they're in the line, they have to go first because them come with them letter, right? So we're going to work out the 5 plus 2 that's in the brackets. So we get 7. Next up, we see an exponent there, that is our healthcare worker or police officer, so them have to go on through first. Yeah, so we work out the exponents. 4 squared to get 16. Next up, I'm seeing a multiplication sign, that is our Mr. Senior Citizen, Miss Senior Citizen, they have to go next. So we work that out. 7 times 1 to get 7. Now we're left with an addition and a subtraction sign. These are on the same level, so we have to work with the addition first because that's first in the line. So we add 16 plus 7 to give 23. And then finally, subtraction can go on through. So 23 minus 2 gives 21, and that is our final answer. And that's it for order of operations. So there's a recap coming up, right? So let us go. Operations in math take two numbers or expressions and provide a final result. The order of operations is a rule that tells us which operation gets calculated first when there are more than one in the same expression. Based on the order of operations, we always work with what is in brackets first, then we work with exponents, then multiplication and division depending on which one appears first in the expression, and finally we work with addition and subtraction depending on which appears first in the expression. And that's it for today's video. Remember to like this video if you enjoyed it, comment below if you learned something new, and finally, be a friend and tell a friend. Remember, we're all in this together because math is life.